Injustice Superman. In the Injustice universe, Superman suffers a devastating personal loss. The Joker tricks him into killing Lois Lane and their unborn child. And to make matters worse, the Joker rigs Lois's heartbeat to a nuclear bomb that levels Metropolis. In that moment, something inside Superman breaks. He kills the Joker and begins a reign of tyranny, believing that absolute control is the only path to peace. He establishes a global regime, demanding obedience from both civilians and superheroes. Superman is terrifying not just for what he does, but because his dissent feels justified, even logical. And that's what makes him one of the most chilling versions of Superman ever written. Red Sun Superman. In Superman Red Sun, Kal-El's rocket doesn't crash in Kansas. It lands in the Soviet Union. Raised under Stalinist ideology, Superman becomes the face of communist power. He brings about a global Soviet empire, where he uses surveillance, mind control, and authoritarianism to keep the world safe. This Superman believes in peace through control, not liberty. He lobotomizes dissidents and views resistance as a malfunction. While he sees himself as a savior, his methods cross into oppression. Superman Prime. 1 million. Superman Prime spent 15,000 years absorbing solar energy inside the sun. He emerges with godlike powers and near omniscience. Though not evil by nature, this level of power makes him detached from human values. He becomes a cosmic force whose idea of justice no longer includes personal empathy. He's the ultimate example of how distance from humanity, even with good intentions, can turn a hero into something unfathomable. Ultraman Earth 3. Ultraman is the Superman of Earth 3, where moral alignments are reversed. Instead of being a symbol of hope, Ultraman is the dictatorial leader of the crime syndicate. He gains strength from kryptonite and becomes weaker under yellow sunlight. Ultraman rules through fear, manipulation, and brute force. He's Superman with none of the restraint or values, just raw power used for selfish gain. Bizarro. Bizarro is a distorted mirror of Superman. A failed clone, he sees the world through reversed logic. In many versions, he thinks destruction is help and chaos is order. While not always malicious, Bizarro's unpredictability makes him incredibly dangerous. In some storylines, he's weaponized by villains or simply acts on broken instincts, leaving devastation in his wake. The Infected Superman, Batman Who Laughs. In the Dark Multiverse, the Batman Who Laughs releases a toxin that infects heroes, turning them into twisted versions of themselves. Superman is one of them. Under this influence, he retains his powers but loses his moral compass, becoming a fusion of Superman's might and Joker's madness. This infected Superman is erratic, cruel, and enjoys watching others suffer. It's not just strength corrupted, it's sanity undone. Black Lantern Superman. In the Blackest Night crossover, the dead are resurrected by Black Lantern rings to serve Nekron, the embodiment of death. Superman becomes a Black Lantern, driven by dark emotions and the hunger to destroy life. For a time, he's a puppet of death itself, and even those closest to him are forced to fight against the man they once trusted. Overman, Earth 10. On Earth 10, Superman is raised by the Nazi regime after his ship lands in Germany during World War II. Overman helps Hitler win the war, and the Third Reich rules the world for decades. While Overman eventually comes to regret his role and suffers deeply from guilt, his very existence poses a chilling question. What happens when the world's most powerful man is raised to serve evil? Superboy Prime. Superboy Prime was once a hopeful young hero from a universe where superheroes were fictional. But when his world is destroyed during the crisis on Infinite Earths, he becomes unhinged. His sense of entitlement and desperation lead him down a path of destruction. He slaughters heroes, punches through dimensional barriers, and wreaks havoc across the multiverse. His raw power, combined with a childlike refusal to accept reality, makes him one of DC's most dangerous threats. Darkfather. A terrifying fusion of Superman and Darkseid, Darkfather appears in the Dark Knight's death metal storyline. He rules Apocalypse and wields the anti-life equation. He even uses a mind-controlled Batman as a weapon. This version of Superman is stripped of all humanity and remade in the mold of tyranny. He has the strength of a god and the heart of a conqueror. Cyborg Superman, Hank Henshaw. Though not a variant of Kal-El, Cyborg Superman is a terrifying imposter. Hank Henshaw blames Superman for the accident that destroyed his body and loved ones. He uploads his consciousness into machines and eventually becomes a cybernetic menace capable of assimilating entire worlds. Masquerading as Superman after his death in The Death of Superman, Henshaw's betrayal further erodes public trust and causes mass destruction in Superman's name. Kingdom Come Superman, early phase. In the Kingdom Come storyline, Superman retires after a catastrophic event caused by reckless young heroes. When he returns, he is no longer the hopeful symbol of old. He's hardened, disillusioned, and dangerously authoritarian. While he regains his ideals over time, the early version of this Superman represents the consequences of idealism broken by tragedy. These 12 variants show us that Superman isn't just a hero, he's a concept. When twisted by ideology, tragedy, madness, or sheer power, that concept becomes a terrifying force. What makes these versions so compelling isn't just their strength, it's what they say about the fragile balance between power and principle. If you found this breakdown informative, consider subscribing for more deep dives into the multiverse. Leave a comment below. Which version of Superman do you think is the most terrifying? Thanks for watching.